Hello and welcome to The Good, the Bad and the Worst, a podcast where we watch movie trilogies and decide which movie is going to get sued by some Mickey Mouse outfit for naming their team the Ducks. I'm your host, Griner, and joining me today...
Conan, I don't know if you guys know this, but the computer's black.
And I'm Luke Morgan, and it's because I'm white, isn't it?
No, you're clear.
Yes, I'm clear.
Thanks for joining us for The Good, the Bad and the Worst. Of course, we are this fortnight watching a duology. It's not a trilogy. We've failed at that this week, but Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Luke's pick.
Yes.
Luke, what does Space Jam mean to you?
Everything, and anything and everything. So obviously I'll get into my thing first before I ask you guys about your history with Space Jam. I loved this movie as a kid, the first Space Jam, obviously. I watched this movie over and over again when I was a kid. It just played all the time in my house. Not that I was like a big Looney Tunes fan. I'm not like, I can't say I was a Looney Tunes fan or watched Looney Tunes itself. I guess my exposure to Looney Tunes was Space Jam. And it was just a weird mix. I don't know. I was like, my brother watched basketball at the time and was a fan of Michael Jordan. So there was Chicago Bulls jerseys in my house. And it was just like a mix of, real world and animation. And it still holds up visually to this day. You can't even tell how, like, you just believe he's in Looney Tune world. But I don't know. It was just, I just have nostalgia for this movie. The music from it. And yeah, my son recently has gotten into basketball. And he's actually really great at it. So I was like, hey, why don't you watch Space Jam, the best basketball movie of all time? And so that's what inspired this pick, was my son's recent love of basketball. So I got him to watch that. Had to watch the second one as well. But yeah, and he really enjoyed it. So yeah. What's your guys' history with Space Jam?
I was like the right age for Space Jam in 1996. I was 32 years old. I mean, I was 9 years old. I'm making the jokes before you now because it makes me feel better. I was 9 years old. Going to the movies was still, a treat. There wasn't a local cinema near me, and I remember seeing this in the cinema and thinking it was a pretty rad movie. I never watched it ever again. I even like Looney Tunes. Like, we had VHS of Warner Brothers cartoons when I was a kid. Had Bugs Bunny books in the house and stuff like that. I weirdly don't have that much nostalgia for this movie and hadn't seen it again since I watched it in 1996.
Yeah, okay. But you remember liking it in 96?
I do. I remember as a 9-year-old thinking that movie was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly,
Yeah. Bill Murray.
Yeah. Bill Murray. Dan Aykroyd, he's in the picture as well. Conan, I'm guessing you hadn't seen Space Jam before?
I'm guessing you absolutely hated this pick.
Whoa. Why do you think I hadn't seen this movie?
Well, I don't know. What's your history with Looney Tunes?
I still have the Space Jam commemorative coin that came with the VHS.
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
so actually talk to me about Space Jam.
I didn't understand your game. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
That's
right. But yeah, that being said, I don't care. Give a single shit about this movie. So Looney Tunes, my relationship is when we were young. So this came out when I was 3. So when we were small, we had what I called the green video, and that was a VHS in a green slipcase that was a Looney Tunes compilation. And so I remember we watched that a lot because back in the day, you'd have like 4 VHSs, and that was basically all. You just watch those on rotation.
Yep.
And so that was one of the ones that we did. And so I remember that. I remember like 2 or 3 little episodes from it. I remember Foghorn Leghorn. I remember there's a court case episode. And I remember watching that fairly regularly. And I remember seeing this movie. I think one of my brothers owned it, or my parents bought it for the family. And so we watched this a bunch, I'm sure. Mm. But yeah, similar to you, Grant, despite that, I have no real nostalgia for it. I remember seeing it. I remember thinking, oh yeah, that was cool. But Looney Tunes are just a weird kind of, like, they have been in my life, but I have zero affiliation with. Like Tarzos, right? They were everywhere. Yeah. And they were a very big cultural touchstone that went on to spawn many, many other iterations. And I'm more connected with those. And I feel like everybody had Tarzos and everyone was into Tarzos, and Looney Tunes were like the first thing to do that properly. But it's still, I don't give a single shit about any of the characters. I don't find them charming. I don't find them endearing. Even as a kid, I was never like, I want to follow these things. I just
Do you guys remember the collector cups that would be like faces of like it'd be a Daffy Duck cup?
Yep.
So my family collected them. So my sister still right now at her house right now has maybe 30 or 40 of them.
I'm pretty sure they found out there was lead in that paint, by the way. So,
probably.
So don't go drinking out of them.
Explains a lot, actually. Oh shit.
Yeah. We had the same glasses. I remember them well.
Yeah. So so I don't know, but it's a thing. Like I remember seeing Looney Tunes a bunch when I was younger, but watching this movie, it made me realize I was like, oh, like my kids would have no idea about the Looney Tunes or what the Looney Tunes are, if it wasn't for a recent Fortnite like thing where Bugs Bunny was in Fortnite and Daffy Duck, so they knew a couple of these characters from that. And they're like, oh my God, it's the Fortnite character in Space Jam. This is crazy. But it's like, I realized like Looney Tunes isn't relevant in today's day and age. And obviously, like, I don't know, you both have kids. Have your kids ever seen Looney Tunes before? Where would you even watch Looney Tunes?
It's a Warner Brothers property, so I guess on HBO Max is where you'd have to find it, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody goes to HBO Max for the kids section, right?
For the kids, yeah. Like, it's like, let's watch some Wire, and then when we're done with that first season, then we'll watch some Looney Tunes. But
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, not even necessarily because I haven't wanted to expose them, but I do feel like Looney Tunes are kind of a relic of a different time. They are like they're a kids' entertainment of just a different era when there was not as much, and like when cinema was monoculture, and so you kind of had kids' entertainment was limited to like really old cartoons in Disney, and so Warner Brothers sort of comes in and says we need something to compete with that, and that was just at a time when there was so much less content, so much less stuff. But now in 2026, where we've had like a century of Disney and a plethora of other kids' entertainment just spawning on from that, these really do feel like kind of an outdated sort of
relic.
Yeah, trite sort of relic. And like, I'm not trying to be condescending or pompous about it, but this is just kind of what I imagine is like, those hokey old cartoons you watch where it's like, this is what your grandparents used to laugh at.
Like, that's purely slapstick. You know what I mean? Yes. And it's like, I don't know if it's enough for today's kids with how much they're exposed to of like, I don't know, I guess different sorts of humor or different sorts of animation and stuff like that. I feel like it's very simple kind of cartoon to get entertainment from. Funny timing. I saw a reel that sort of went viral recently of some guy that was pointing out all this stuff about Looney Tunes. Like, oh, remember this show we loved when we were kids? It was just like every character's like shtick is they've basically got a speech impediment. It's like, oh, this character, they're Mexican. This character, they stutter. That's the joke. They talk weird, basically. This guy's got a southern drawl. That's his whole shtick. And it was quite accurate, but yeah.
Yeah,
and this is a skunk. He smells. That's his whole thing. He smells.
And he's French.
So, he's French, yeah. And he was a problematic one because in all of his episodes, he kept trying to force himself on women, and he'd like kiss them, and they'd be like getting him off, and he was like,
They tried to cancel Speedy Gonzales too, but then everyone who spoke Spanish was like, no, he represents us. We like him.
He's our mascot.
He was uncancelled.
It's weird.
Go ahead. I was to say it's weird. Like it's weird to me to compare Looney Tunes to Disney and like just the staying power it's had. And like you could argue that Mickey Mouse is not as popular as it was back in the day either. But my kids definitely know who Mickey and Minnie Mouse are, like 100%. They could. Even if I asked them now after I made them sit and watch Space Jam with me, they couldn't tell me who Bugs Bunny is probably.
But see, I could tell you, I'd rather watch a Looney Tunes thing than a Mickey Mouse show.
I probably agree with that. Like Mickey Mouse, because I don't know the history. I really should have done a thing, but like I think there was a division in the history where like Looney Tunes was started in the 30s at some point, and Disney went through a long period in the 60s and 70s where it was kind of a struggling company, and they had a lot of movies and things that weren't going well, and actually wasn't doing very well. And then eventually they had the animation renaissance in the 90s after like somewhere of like 20 years of pretty dull effort. And I think that was the time when Looney Tunes kind of filled that void. And it became the sort of the kids animation. Because that's why I think a lot of Gen X really watched Looney Tunes. I think it's definitely if you were sort of growing up in the 70s and 80s, you were probably more exposed to Looney Tunes than Disney. Because you think about all the Disney things, it's 90s properties. It's
Yeah.
I mean, there's things like Bambi that are the 50s, and then there's kind of a gap, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then Lion King, and that's in the 90s, and that's when it sort of kicks off. So I feel like in that 20-30 year interim, that's when Looney Tunes was kind of the animation to watch, and that's not even necessarily because it's better; it's just because it was there for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's funny because like I was very much a Disney kid as well, like coming up with like Hercules, Lion King, all that sort of stuff in the 90s. But I had this as well because of my older brothers in the house that had obviously grown up watching Looney Tunes. So there was a lot of Looney Tunes in the house as well. So I kind of had both worlds.
There's some weirdness in Australia too, though. Like, and it was probably more relevant when we were kids, but like Movie World, which is kind of our big theme park, is Warner Brothers based, and it's got all Looney Tunes stuff in it. And I remember when I was a kid, it sponsored like the after school cartoons that were on Channel 9 or whatever, and so they were all Looney Tunes cartoons, and that was like a lot of my exposure to it as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there's also like a kind of like a quote unquote like a lesson or a quality in this, because Looney Tunes I think is just kind of like pure comedy, like you're saying. Look, it's very slapstick. It's like, Roadrunner trying to catch something, or Bugs Bunny trying to escape getting killed, and it's funny, but it's just purely like the novelty of the animation. Whereas Disney, I think, kind of appealed to that, like there's good lessons and morals here, and they adapted stories that had a real take-home point, and it's like, well, this is teaching you to be a good kid, or these all have morals at the end of them. So there was like an emotional storytelling there that I don't think Looney Tunes ever had. Looney Tunes is pure sort of just comedy fun.
Yeah.
And so I wonder whether intentionally or not, parents gravitated to Disney more because they were like, oh, this is a bit more, this is better for my kid to watch, because they're watching something soft and gentle that they learn. Even like Mickey Mouse cartoons and Minnie Mouse, like they're all very, very harmless and very nice. Whereas Looney Tunes is, again, like Bugs is being hunted by someone, and like someone's putting dynamite under a thing and someone gets blown up. And it's like, I can imagine in the 80s, parents didn't give a shit. But in the 90s, I think where there's probably a bit more of a change was starting, parents are probably a bit more reluctant to be like, oh yeah, I don't know if I want my kids exposed to that.
The violence.
Yeah, and I mean, then like Itchy and Scratchy and The Simpsons is obviously, I think, inspired much more by that than Looney Tunes than it is by Disney. It's like, that's kind of its whole point there, is like the violence, the casual violence in kids' cartoons, that you had some Puritans, and like Reagan, I think, starts to campaign against that in the 80s in America and be like, we need family values, and this is coming off the 70s in America. I'm like, it's just two different directions for kids' entertainment to go. And so we were never really, even though we saw them, I don't know, Looney Tunes never clicked with me. And like, we never went to a Movie World. We never had any real exposure to it outside of those few cartoons and a few episodes, but they just didn't quite grab me as much as, they didn't grab me as much as Disney did. And that was probably because we had both. So I don't want to say the only reason Looney Tunes is famous is because it was all people had, but part of me is wondering, I'm like, is it just because that was what was there? And if you grow up with that, that's naturally what you love.
There's probably something to that, I think. Definitely, it feels like there was just that era where this was it, and there wasn't. What was the other option?
I guess the only other thing I'll just bring up before we go into it, do you guys have any nostalgia for basketball or the NBA or Michael Jordan?
No, I mean, Michael Jordan was bigger than the NBA, sure. I think, in a lot of ways, but no, legend. Not really.
Yeah, okay.
It was the weird kids in my school who were into it, but they were weird.
Yeah.
My exposure is my second oldest brother was he's a big sports fan. And so he had a handful of basketball posters and like a basketball picture. And it was all Michael Jordan stuff. And he collects basketball cards to this day and things. And so he follows the game. And so I was exposed to it through that. Like in our room, because we all shared a room, there was basketball posters on the walls. And so
every night you would go to sleep to like pictures of Michael Jordan on the wall.
And there's just like Michael Jordan, sometimes Michael Jackson as well. It was
in the room.
Michael, like that. I can remember. There's like two distinct Michael Jordan pictures that were up for years, And so like, I
Slam
understood. Yeah. It's like one is the iconic slam dunk photo. And so like it's in my brain. I know about it, but I was never I'm just not wired for sports. Hey, no matter how hard I try, my brain just does not compute with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, let's get into stats.
Stats.
I was hoping for a different Space Jam song, if I'm honest, Luke, but that's all right. We'll carry on. Space Jam came out in 1996, had a budget of $80 million, made $230 million at the box office. Space Jam: A New Legacy came out in 2021, had a budget of $150 million, made $163 million at the box office.
Profit.
Critical reception, 57 for Space Jam and 36 for Space Jam: A New Legacy. Criminally high, those ratings, I would say.
What?
Yep.
What? So original Space Jam was 80 million budget and made over 250 million.
I remember it was a big
success.
movie. Like it.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
It is a bit of a cultural touchstone. I think people my age and probably a bit older, like they all remember Space Jam and they remember that song and they remember bits and pieces of it. But I also don't feel like it had any, like, you know, nobody's quoting this movie in 2025. Nobody, I don't know. I think some people have nostalgia for it, but I'm not quoting this movie anyway. I'll tell you that much.
I know me and my
I
brother
think
quoted weird
every
stuff on this all the time, but
Really? Like every single person has seen this movie pretty much. If you're alive, you've seen it or you know about it. Like it was huge. But yeah, I guess more than just for its novelty than for anything else.
because man, it's kind of surprising with how well it did at that time, like for it to take 25 years for a sequel.
But again, it's because it's the value of this movie is Michael Jordan. Like he was, like I say, growing up, he was bigger than the NBA. Like he was bigger than Jesus, I feel, for a few years. Like he was huge. He was like truly a like, you know, there's probably never been an athlete quite to the same caliber in
Other than
terms
Joey
of like,
Johns.
and he plays racquetball,
Don't you?
pickleball.
I literally do not know who you're talking about. I assume
Andrew
he's an
Johns.
NRL player, but
Andrew Johns.
Did you say Joey? Did you say
you said Joey
Johns?
Johns. Who's that?
Yeah, that's his nickname. Joe. Anyway, never
Literally
mind.
no
Football
idea.
fans know. Football fans know. Jesus Christ.
That's NRL for anyone who doesn't understand. All right, but yeah. So besides the Johns brothers and Fatty Vorton,
Yeah, there he is. Conan knows ball. Conan knows ball when it comes to football. I hate
whole
this
footy
bullshit.
show.
He's trying to hide it. He knows the footy show ball. He
I
knows
just
it.
know 4 people from the footy show because that was good. That was good shit.
It was good-
Besides
good
then,
content.
no athlete has ever been as big as I think Michael Jordan. Like you've got maybe Muhammad Ali in boxing.
I mean, these days, arguably, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like LeBron James, even, which we'll get into later. Like Ronaldo seems to be huge, and obviously, maybe not in our country, but even like I feel like kids these days know Ronaldo, and
Yeah. I think Ronaldo's, you know, if you go by the population that knows of Ronaldo, it would dwarf Michael Jordan, I reckon, potentially. But, you know, from from an Australian standpoint, yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like part of that is
disagree?
because culture has obviously become more connected, and so
yeah,
soccer has got a broader influence. But I don't think soccer was as big a game as it like in the 90s as it is
it's
today.
David Beckham. It's pretty.
Yeah, but like
Again,
in terms
Michael
of
Jordan was something else.
not just in terms of like people knowing who he is, but like in terms of like this is the greatest athlete in their sport and potentially the greatest athlete we've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like all these guys are iconic and famous. You're right. Michael Jordan kind of had that weird thing where not only was he dominating his game, but it was like Michael Jackson, where it's like this is kind of a one in a lifetime figure where he's just there's never been someone as good as this person.
no,
And like it was at a time when obviously monoculture was different, and so sport was just generally there was less of it. And I think like if you followed sport, you naturally had in the West, but even probably globally, you had to follow some things like basketball.
Yeah.
I just think like the ubiquity of his name.
Yeah. Part of me wants to sit
like-
here and be like, yeah, but what about this sports person? But the fact that you wouldn't name them, it kind of like proves the rule, right? Like Michael Jordan is the one you've heard of. Would you have said Wayne Gretzky? Because he's the greatest ice hockey player ever. And if you look at his record,
Tom
and
Brady.
you could say Don Bradman in cricket, but like you know, I don't know that any of them had the cultural cachet that Michael Jordan did.
That's right. And when you type into Google the biggest sports star of all time, the AI overview comes up with Michael Jordan, and ESPN has Michael Jordan as first, followed by Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Wayne Gretzky. Those are all American focused, but look, AI says Michael Jordan, and therefore is the answer.
I mean, Michael Jordan, also the most popular baseball player of all time.
I don't know if that's true.
All right, let's get into it. Space Jam. In a desperate attempt to win a basketball match and earn their freedom, the Looney Tunes seek out the aid of retired basketball champion Michael Jordan.
Yes. So, Conan, you might have brought it up earlier, I've forgotten. So what was your history of watching this? You watched this once when you were a kid and then never again, or?
No, I would have watched it a few times because, like, again, we had you had a handful of VHSs. There was the green tape, the green video, which was the Looney Tunes compilation. There was Balto. There was Back to the Future 2. There was this, and there would have been a couple of others. And so we would have watched them on repeat. So I would have seen this a bunch, but I've never looked back over. It's never been a movie that I've been like, yeah, I really liked Space Jam. It's just like, yeah, I've seen Space Jam. So I'm sure I watched it when I was younger a few times when I was bored, but I don't think I ever was like, I want to watch this movie and really enjoy this movie. Because I don't care about sport. And so the whole basketballness of it, I didn't really care about as a kid, but I don't care about now.
Yeah.
And the Looney Tunes-ness of it, I think there's definitely probably a novelty appeal of like, well, this is cartoons and live action interacting. Which is kind of, I think, why this movie had success, because it was the first, or one of the first to do that. But I did, no real, affection, no connection, no real nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
And so on this rewatch, I just didn't care for it. I tried to watch it with my daughter. She was not having any of it.
Yep, my kids were absolutely not interested in this movie. Nothing I could do could convince them that this was worth their time. They were just like, when is it? They asked me beforehand, like, is it funny, Dad? And I said, yeah, I think it's pretty funny. And my daughter kept saying, is it funny yet? Is it funny yet?
When's it funny?
Yeah, like funny? her commentary was, when is it funny, Dad? And my answer was, I'm not sure it ever is, to be honest.
My kids,
my daughter, yeah,
my kids are probably a bit young.
When can we watch the second one now?
Same.
Yeah.
My daughter got scared by the by Danny DeVito and his little gremlins. But I think she was also just bored. She was bored from the get-go. And then when something slightly scary came on, she's like, I don't want to watch this anymore. And so my wife was like, turn it off. We're not watching it. I was like, great. I get to watch this in my own time now. Ugh.
Yeah, no. Fair enough. Yeah, okay. See, I don't know. I just, like I said, I was never a big Looney Tunes fan. But I guess it was just this movie being on so many times that it was just like, I don't know, me and my brother, whenever we'd play basketball, like in the backyard or whatever, it would be a thing when he'd go to do like a slam dunk, he'd do that like tongue out sort of thing as Elmer Fudd does in this and all that sort of stuff. I don't know, we quote Foghorn Leghorn. I don't know. There's stuff I really like Wayne Knight in this. I think he's funny. Newman
he's not bad. I forgot that he was in this, but yeah, he's
Bill Murray is funny. Bill Murray's really funny. He's always funny.
And he's like a really big role. Like a big, ends up being a pretty pivotal part.
Yeah. But I don't know, there's even small stuff like when he gets sucked into the hole at the golf course and Bill Murray's just like, what kind of camera is that? He's like, can you not point that at me, please? I don't know. It's funny. Bill Murray's funny.
Do you feel like this is
it's pretty funny too, where he's like, "Oh, we're emotionally distraught. Let's just put two so that none of us can putt." Like, I don't know. Bill Murray is better than this movie.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is it's kind of like the Billy Madison 2 thing, where it's like if you appreciate the sport though, you're going to really enjoy it because it's got all these actual athletes. Because I feel like a lot of the narrative
Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah,
we never got to Billy Madison too.
Not yet, but Jesus, it's gonna be good when we do. Sorry, Happy Gilmore 2, where that's like, that has every golfer under the sun. And like a lot of this movie is spent like dealing with the politics of the sport, where there was like the Bulls competitive team loses their powers, and it's like a lot of it's spent with Michael Jordan actually being like, I don't want to be a basketballer, I want to be a baseballer, and there's all these real life athletes in it. I'm like, I have no reference point for this. They're all just random people that I feel like it's meant to mean something, and it means absolutely nothing to me.
No, and that's the thing. And you'd know these people by name if, like, you're an NBA fan at the time. Or an American would know most of these players by name if they watch sports at the time. And they'd be like, oh, this is great. So that's the thing. And back then, obviously, when I watched this when I was a kid, and like even now, I can't tell you them other people's names. I don't know who they are. If it was Shaquille O'Neal and Dennis Rodman, maybe, like, I'd be able to tell you. But not these guys. But obviously, I know them visually just from watching this movie when I was a kid. Like, so I've always had that thing, the really short guy who's like a surprisingly really short basketball player. But I don't know, there's something interesting to the whole thing of them stealing their powers, and I don't know.
You kind of get the funny moments where they can't even play basketball against little girls, and they're in therapy about it and stuff. It's like, I don't know, it's fine, I suppose, but the whole A plot is just utterly dull. Like,
A plot? What do you mean?
You're really into the Monstars, are you, Luke?
The Monstars, yeah.
These villains introduced just for this movie, and then they kind of don't do anything.
They're purely evil. But overall, it's not like, I don't know. It's like these poor little creatures that are trying to avoid slavery under Danny DeVito. It's just like,
aren't we all?
He always used to be, bigger and meaner than them. And they didn't realize all along they could have just overpowered him.
Danny DeVito was really typecast as a kid's villain in the
literally
90s,
like
wasn't
Matilda's dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys enjoy the game itself?
No.
As in like the final game. I always like the little stuff where you have the Pulp Fiction thing and they bring out the guns and like they shoot them and like they're using their abilities once they've had the special secret sauce order, which, I mean, who hasn't used that trick? I've done that before in footy. That's what I remember my coach doing it, being like, here's secret sauce. And I was like, oh, it's Joey Johns' secret sauce.
Joey Johns, yeah.
And I went out and I scored 3 tries that day. It was like, so good.
Nathan Blacklock, he's a footballer.
He is. Yeah.
Should there be an NRL version of Space Jam?
Would it be with Looney Tunes or would it be with like Bluey?
Holy shit.
Holy
shit.
I'm in now.
Save this podcast. Oh shit, copyright. I don't know. We can't copyright somebody else's.
We own that. We own that.
Yeah, that idea.
Bluey has made the most interesting NRL match,
it's had State of Origin
cartoon.
It's
had the State of Origin. It's had cricket too, and that's a really good episode as well. Good. Let's not talk about Bluey. It'll make me sad about how bad this cartoon was.
Well, can you imagine Joey Johns getting up there and he's got to go to Bandit and be like, Bandit, you need to teach me some lessons. And man.
The funny thing about it is Joey Johns and the dad from Blue would be doing cocaine in the
if it's NRL, it's not going to be kid friendly, is it?
No, exactly. He's like beating up the women. No. I don't know. That could be fun. Yeah, trademark it. Tell you what, Bluey does not have Lola Bunny. That's for sure.
No, let's talk about Lola Bunny.
Let's talk about it because I feel like this was actually like my first crush as a kid.
Lola Bunny. Was this my sexual awakening that I don't remember? It might have been.
I truly remember having like a crush as a kid on Lola Bunny and thinking I was like, this is the hottest thing ever. Oh my God. As like a little 7-year-old, be like, damn, she knows how to hoop. But
I mean, literally, I think this is the case for literally everyone, right? Like, it's a very common trope on the internet that.
Well, a lot of people were angry in Space Jam 2 when they nerfed it.
I made a note about it. I was like, they desexified Lola Bunny. What's up? What's going on?
First Lola Bunny and then the green M&M. Where will it stop?
Exactly.
Where will it stop?
And like, you would think with like over the years, in modern society, there's a big furry audience out there. This is the movie they could have done it and probably would have done a lot better at the box office.
An awakening for a lot of furries, I think, yeah.
Lola Bunny's probably responsible for the majority of the furry population. So
it was funny seeing that where I'm like, you can tell someone went to a lot of effort to be like, how do we make this anthropomorphic bunny as like as sexually attractive as we can without being off-putting? And they're like,
it has like the saxophone music every time she's walking on the screen, and and Bugs Bunny turns stiff as a ball when she kisses him.
I do miss that about kids films back then where there was a little bit more of a like they jokes were played to two notes. There was one for the kids, which is just this girl bunny kind of, Bugs acting weird around this other
Bugs
bunny.
has a crush. Yeah.
Yeah. And kids are like, haha, he's being silly, she's being cool. And parents are like, oh, I understand. And like,
Bugs Bunny just got stiff as a board.
Yeah, there's jokes used to work that way a lot more. Like kids shows used to be a lot more eager to do that. It'd be like we have a double entendre going on, or we have two levels of comedy here, so the parents can enjoy it and the kids can enjoy it. I do feel like somewhere along the way that split off and just became kids entertainment is kids entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a lot of it now has very little for parents, and like the second movie kind of has that where it's not really anything clever in it.
No, definitely not. SpongeBob kind of always trod that line of like, the big
and like
with stuff that
there's a long history of it. Like it's
yeah.
And even today, there are cartoons that are smart enough to do both. Like I would argue, Bluey is interesting to watch as a parent.
I was just about to say Bluey still does that. I'm like,
I hear about Bluey from more adults than kids. Like I know more adults that watch Bluey than kids that watch Bluey. So
it's
never watched it. Never watched it.
That's gnarly. Your kids would still enjoy it at this age. It's very funny.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. It's like
I think they'd be
funny.
too cool for it, right? Like
too cool. No.
That'd be the problem, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It'd be too childish. But I recognize
in Fortnite.
That would change their mind. Yeah, they might be like, all right, let's give this Bluey guy a go. Whatever, we'll try all this.
Takes a drag from his cigarette and goes. Nolan goes, yeah, let's give Bluey a go. All right,
all right, let's test this whole thing out.
This chili's pretty hot, eh, Dad?
You know, Lola Bunny, son. But yeah, no. So I don't know. There's not much to say about this movie, to be honest. I don't know. It is just something I enjoyed as a kid. I find enough humor now, and I don't know if it's half nostalgia. I find enough humor in it now to be able to sit and watch this and enjoy it. Like I said, my kids enjoyed watching it. And they don't really have any reference, for Looney Tunes or anything like that. Yeah. But
there's a handful of deep fine scenes, like Michael Jordan getting bounced like a ball is kind of like haha.
Yeah.
The guy pulling a gun on the monsters to play defense, that's kind of funny. The scene with them all injured, where Foghorn is like a roast chicken, and one of them's an iron lung. That's funny.
An iron lung, yeah.
Like that made me laugh.
I don't know why. It was always just the funniest thing to me in that scene. There's the vulture there that we never see play, and he's just bandaged up head to toe. Like it's just a completely mummy version of this vulture that's just always on the sideline, and he just got pulverized somewhere. But
yeah. Like that stuff works, but that's kind of about it. What did you guys think of Michael Jordan's performance? Like his acting?
Well, he's not an actor. Like we see this time and time again. Like these sports stars put in. Like we just had it recently when we did Ace Ventura. Like the exact same thing.
Yeah. But given with what he's working with, where you can imagine most of the time he's on a green screen alone, like all the stuff in the cartoon world, like he's not interacting with anything there, he's not bad. Like I feel like he's better than LeBron James is in number 2, like acting wise, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think he's too bad. I believed, when I was a kid, I believed this was actually just happening to Michael Jordan. And when I was watching it, I was like, shit, And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of refreshingly honest in a way that like it shows him playing baseball and not really saying like he's good with it. And everyone's like, everyone on the sideline is like clapping for him when he just got striked out. They're like, that was a good strikeout. That's one of the best strikeouts. And they're like clapping for him. It's kind of like he's aware of himself that he had these people like sugarcoating everything he did because he was Michael Jordan.
I did find that a little bit interesting.
Which is interesting because this was pretty shortly after his little baseball stint. And it's interesting. Like he's not good at it. The people are trying to help him. Like the umpire dude behind the thing is actually trying to help him by telling him what his teammate's doing. And he's like, oh, I told you. And he's like, oh, well. And then everyone's just like, yeah, no, it was a good strikeout. And as a kid, I didn't even realize that. I was just like, oh, that was a good strikeout. Cool. Good. But like even watching it just now, I'm like, okay, yeah. They're just kissing his ass because he's Michael Jordan. And everyone's weighing on him hand and foot. But I don't know. I don't think he's too bad, noticeably bad, at least for me.
Yeah, like he's not. Yeah, he is not awful, but he's definitely like you can. He's not an actor. He's It's all pretty wooden, and it's it's not amazing. But it could be worse. He's no Dwayne the Rock Johnson, that's for sure.
See, that's why wrestlers are the best sports.
They're just performers anyway.
They're just acting.
Yes.
And
theatre
they
performers,
can
basically.
act. Yep, just a bunch of
And the other
drama kids.
the other ones I forgot here was that Carl Weathers was an NFL linebacker. I don't think I knew. And he's in Predator.
He is in Predator, and Jesse Ventura is in Predator as well.
And he's a governor.
Yeah, he was a governor. Yeah.
I think Vinnie Jones, he was a footballer apparently.
Vinny Jones. Yes,
Jones?
There's a documentary on Netflix that just popped up, and I was like, I had no idea he was a soccer player. That was known as like a thuggish soccer player.
And of course, Jason Statham was a diver.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I guess sometimes it can happen, but I guess usually when they go to acting, they then stick to acting, whereas Michael Jordan did not.
No, he just did it for the love of the game.
And that's right. So I love
He
Looney
was like,
Tunes so much.
I love Looney Tunes so damn
And
much.
the
I've got to
money.
make
He's like,
Truckloads
He's
and
like-
truckloads of money.
he's like, I'm only doing Space Jam if I'm acting opposite Lola Bunny, please.
Did you guys catch Dan Castellaneta in the little cameo? You know, not that often you see Homer Simpson in real life.
No.
no, who was he?
Yeah, I know he's just like he's in the audience of the basketball when the Monstars go and steal the powers.
Where the woman is like, the guy next to me is being really weird in his
Yes,
raincoat.
with Patricia Heaton, who's from like Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not. No, that's cool.
So that's the voice of Homer, is it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. I always find it funny when you know Hank Azaria or Dan Castellaneta pops up in some live action thing because you don't see them very often.
True. How funny.
Can't help
do
myself.
You should notice that, Conan. You're the Simpsons guy.
I should have. Like, Grant is probably more of the Simpsons guy. I should have known that, but I'm a bad fan. I'm not. I am no Michael Jordan. What can I say?
Do you guys have a favorite Looney Tune?
Tassie Devil.
Yeah. I've always liked
Why?
Tasmanian Devil.
Why is he?
I don't know.
Because he's
I just
Australian.
yeah, and I don't know. I just thought he was funny back in the day.
Lemony fresh. He's great, man. He's great. I don't know. I always liked Daffy Duck.
Is
He
he
was
not
always hard
just?
done by.
Is he not just Donald Duck? Are these? Is he
No,
not just like
they're nothing
No,
alike.
Donald
No.
Duck. Oh,
Sorry.
dude. Donald Duck's
sorry,
white.
Let
First
me go
of
through the
all,
lore of the ducks, okay?
Donald Duck's completely
What do you
different.
mean he's
Daffy
white?
Duck's.
What do you want to?
Donald Duck is like grumpy. Donald Duck is not like.
He's an old.
So is Daffy
Begrudging.
Duck.
No, Daffy's like antagonistic. He's not.
You Google
He's not
Daffy Duck
grumpy.
and all of his pictures of him looking pissed off.
Yeah, because Bugs is fucking with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bugs is.
Could
the
you
Mickey
imagine having to
Mouse.
be around Bugs Bunny? That seems like
See, I didn't like
the
Bugs.
worst thing.
I always thought Bugs was this like smug, always getting his way. Like I just want Elmer Fudd to shoot him every now and again. That wascally little rabbit, you know, just shoot him, man. But Daffy Duck always was the butt of a joke.
Who's the pig? The stuttering pig.
Porky Pig.
Porky
Yeah,
pig.
Pig.
It's original. Yeah, I just
He's
don't
got a
give
stutter.
shit. that is pretty
He's got
funny.
a speech impediment.
I mean, Foghorn Leghorn is funny because
Yeah, may I
just,
remind you?
he just sounds like Benoit Blanc.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my
He's
God,
like
I
the
was-
character that almost has the most legacy, right? Like how many characters have been based on him over time?
Yeah, that's the one I remember the most from the Green video. Was his little episode.
Did you order your chicken extra crispy?
Have any of you guys seen like Looney Tunes back in action? The Brendan Fraser
No,
film?
but man, everyone was this is the thing. Nobody comes out for Looney Tunes when they come to the movies, but then everyone's campaigning for is it the Wile E. Coyote movie?
That's
Yeah.
supposed to be good though.
Versus Acme, yeah, whatever.
But then it
is.
never saw the light of day, right? And all these people.
No, it's coming now.
campaigning to
It's
have
coming now.
It's
yeah,
coming.
Yep.
it is again. Yeah.
Because was Brendan Fraser involved with that?
No, that was
it's-
he was in Batgirl. That was also cancelled.
It's,
Like
Will Fort, is it?
yeah, we fought.
True.
Was it Wiley Cody versus Acme or something?
Coyote vs Acme. Yeah.
Did you guys like Wile E. Coyote and versus Roadrunner back in the day? Like, I feel like that's probably the main thing people remember Looney Tunes for, is like the painting the wall a different thing and having them run into it. I feel like that's
it's a pretty good bit. It's a pretty good bit.
Yeah, running off the edge of the cliff and staying afloat and falling.
Was that ever shown on TV for us though? Like that feels like something that was. So you've seen that on TV?
100% watched it on TV.
100%.
Yes.
Many times.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That just feels like a whole different generation to me. Like I feel like that is the generation above me, which makes sense for you, Griner. That is like that's what you guys were watching on TV. Because I had Nickelodeon. Like that was what I remember being.
You were watching Hannah Montana.
No, that's after me.
Dora the Explorer.
No, the sweet spot. See, those are all later. No, you're wrong. It's Nickelodeon stuff. It's Nickelodeon Golden Age was what I was watching and growing up.
Now my joke is that you're a youngin. You know. You just love your Fortnite.
Anybody that's not Luke's age is a youngin or an old.
Oh yeah, anyone younger than me, they're too young. These bloody Gen Zers.
All right, we've talked about Space Jam for 40 minutes. We've got to move on. Space Jam.
Yeah, okay. Let's move
A
on.
New Legacy, the sequel to Space Jam, 1996. A rogue artificial intelligence kidnaps the son of famed basketball player LeBron James, who has to work with the Looney Tunes to win a basketball game.
Now, are you guys aware that Kobe Bryant is dead? Because I thought this was Kobe Bryant for a long time. Okay, but it's not Kobe Bryant. It's LeBron.
No, it's not Kobe Bryant.
So I want to make sure you guys don't make the same mistake that I did.
No.
Man, who good on LeBron James for being brave enough to make a movie about, the expectations of fatherhood. Like it's it's an untouched theme in cinema. He's brave enough to get out there and speak
Did this
about
hit the spot for you, Griner?
No,
Did
this
it,
was shit,
speak
and
to you?
I can't even pretend it was good.
Did you
bad
relate to his
movie is
problems?
bad.
Look, okay. I know you hate when I do this, Griner. One last note on the first Space Jam. Banger soundtrack. You got to be on it. Like, I Believe I Can Fly, Fly Like an Eagle, and the Space Jam theme song. 3 great songs that are iconic.
The credits for that first movie go for like 30 minutes. I swear that song just does not stop.
Yeah,
and it's
And
just
I'll
like
listen to it
showing.
all.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
like
listen
showing
to the very
grainy
last
photos of Michael J of the Bulls performing. I'm like, God, it just never ends.
My kids are like, when does
anyway.
it start, Dad? They didn't understand the idea of like titles at the start of a movie either.
Opening credits.
Yeah, that's right. The opening thing goes for a long time. Yeah, okay. Space Jam 2. I remember watching this when it first came out because obviously this had been long rumored. Like, I remember for years and years before it finally came out, people being like, oh my God, they're going to redo a new Space Jam with LeBron James. And I was kind of hyped for it. Like, me and my brother would message each other being like, oh, they're doing a new Space Jam. This is going to be cool. Then there's cool ideas here. Like, and I kind of got hyped watching it because I was like, I remember being hyped about them going into like the Warner Brothers verse. You know what I mean? And like, to be honest, come on, did you guys not kind of mark out a bit when all of a sudden they're in Fury Road?
That was probably the best one of those.
And they're chroming their mouth up. I was like, this is cool.
The Mad Max and the Casablanca 2 bits, they made me chuckle.
Yeah.
Spending a movie being like Leo pointing at the TV though is like not a good enough excuse to make a movie.
No, and they are the best bits of this. It's just been, oh look, it's a play on the Matrix. It's the granny doing the.
This was actually hard to watch with my kids because the villains audience was kind of creepy. Like you've got it, and you've got like the Game of Thrones guys and stuff in there.
Oh yeah, the Night
like,
King's there in the background.
Yeah.
They're like actually scared of this movie.
Iron Giant is here. You guys love Iron Giant.
This is the problem with this movie, especially, but with all these sort of crossover things, is like they're so cynical because they only exist because they are to make fans go, I like these two things. What would it look like if these two things were combined? It's purely to just like there's no artistic intent or merit behind this project or this process. It's just taking properties that exist and putting them together and be like, that's novel. Let's come and like pay money to see this novel thing. There is nothing comes from this. There's no idea of like what can you really do or explore or say by mushing these together. It's just to do the Leo pointing at the screen and go, I remember Iron Giant. I remember Game of Thrones. cool. And like that is such a shitty reason to make something.
It almost feels like the antithesis of creativity, right? Like it's like this. You will like this because you know this, and that's it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's like remember things we once created back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what movie in the Warner Brothers universe does this better. And you guys should watch this movie because I've been telling you for ages you should watch this movie, but Lego Batman kind of does this concept.
Funny as shit.
And it does it great.
It actually does it really well. And actually kind of earns it and actually plays with it in fun ways.
Yeah.
This movie's bad. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not great. It's so long.
Yes.
This movie's so like hate on Space Jam all you want. It's like an hour and 25. Like it breezes by. This is like 2 hours and a bit, and it feels
hour 55.
Hour 55. Okay, it feels like 2 hour 55. Like I remember watching it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, this is, and I'm like, okay, we're in the final game, like the thing, and I'm like, oh shit, there's an hour left. Like, how is there still an hour left, and we've got the final game left? Like, this is crazy. I guess the funniest thing, and just like in a non-ironic kind of way, is the whole game development thing from his son, how his son develops games. I'm just like, that's not how it works. Like, I don't know, them talking about this, I feel like it's people who've never developed or played a video game in their life being like, oh, now he's going to do this thing and make a video game. And he's this 12-year-old that's making these video games in his house. Yeah. It just sounds like old people talking about video games.
Yeah. He's like, oh, no, you turned it off. I lost all that work I just did.
You glitched it, and now it's gone forever.
Dude, you're an idiot.
He does the move. He's like, you move back step. It's like, oh, no, it crashed out and erased.
Then you made a shitty game. I'm sorry. If it crashed after that, then fuck. You suck at your job, kid.
Yeah, Dom. Wiener.
I tell you what, wasn't expecting an E3 cameo.
Yeah, I know.
That was what I was most
I was like, E3?
Nostalgic for, yeah.
I was like, shit. I remember
this must have been like the last year of E3 too. Like,
I think it was. This killed E3.
Barely holding on to relevancy as it was.
Space Jam 2 killed E3.
This is the last nail.
After people are like, we're not going to E3 anymore. There's these kids here developing these weird games.
Yeah, bad games.
Did you guys like, I guess, the algorithm being the villain?
No. Well, it feels so weird because
it's a great commentary, right?
But it's also like Warner Brothers, I assume, is probably pro AI. It's like,
yeah,
the movie makes you think it's meant to be anti-AI, but then it's also kind of sympathetic, where it's like he just wants to be appreciated for what he's doing, and that's the
message. Appreciate also, AI,
yeah, and because that's the son's thing. He's like, I just want to be appreciated for who I am. And it's like, well, that's what the AI wanted. So the message is to accept this. And like, I don't see Warner Brothers like decrying AI or out there getting rid of it. It's like,
yeah, this movie was written at the worst time to use AI as like your villain anyway. Like this was before generative AI was what it is today anyway. Like it
was ahead of its time.
It's just age. Really. No, it's just like aged like milk. Like it's just poorly timed. And not that that's necessarily their fault, but it's not like anything in this movie has anything interesting to say anyway.
No,
it tries to be deep and it just doesn't hit the spot.
Yeah,
I don't see what's wrong with just having like, I don't know, Looney Tunes recruit LeBron James for a basketball game, like they did with Michael Jordan. Oh, actually, the best joke in the movie, Michael B. Jordan. Come on, did you? It was pretty good. Did you think Michael Jordan was showing up when they introduced him? And like, we got Michael Jordan.
I did.
You weren't
I
expecting
did. That was funny because like kids wouldn't get this.
Yeah.
No.
Kids are not going to understand anything about this, but that was very clever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's all they got. That's all they got was that one. So, and I think that's because fans referenced that joke before the movie even came out, being like, "This is what they should do. They should have a funny thing with Michael Jordan."
And they just stole that.
Yeah, they're just like, "That's our idea. We'll pay Michael B. Jordan a lot of money to come do this 2-second cameo."
Yeah,
but it was funny. It was funny.
So, did you guys play that multiverse game that was like
Multiverses?
Properties? Yeah.
No. Once or twice.
This whole movie, I don't know what year that came out, but the whole movie felt like an ad for that, where it was like taking all the properties and mashing them together.
Would have been close to it, right?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, did that game
So
come out
that game came out in 2022. I believe it was
A year after.
cancelled and then it was permanently closed in May 2025.
Okay.
It was a flash in the pan also.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if part of this was like, let's make this to get kids keen and they'll buy our game.
That's why the main character was a kid that plays video games.
Well, the funny thing is, like, that roster barely had any. I don't think it had any Looney Tunes in it either.
Oh, I'm even angry at that.
No, it must have had Bugs Bunny in there, but like, Looney Tunes. I think feel like half the reason they did this multiverse thing is because Looney Tunes has zero relevance in 2023 or 2021 or whenever this crap came out.
Yeah. It really does not have much relevance. So, was there anything redeeming in Space Jam 2 for you guys?
Honestly, not really.
It was so long. It was just like half an hour.
It felt really long. I can believe it. This is the second time I've watched this movie. Because I watched this when it came out, and I remember being like, "Oh, that was really disappointing. I didn't like that." And I completely understand Space Jam 1 is probably 98% nostalgia for me. It's just a movie I watched as a kid and I can quote sort of thing. But yeah, there's Space Jam 2 was rough. My kids still enjoyed it.
Did they?
For some reason. They like my son especially, he likes LeBron. He's a basketball fan, so he enjoyed the basketball aspect of it. And I guess he got a kick out of, like, it's a video game themed basketball. Like, we're doing video game things where, there's a level up or a boost and all this sort of stuff in a real basketball game. And LeBron's out of his element because of that. And I can see why a kid would enjoy this movie. Like,
yeah.
And that sometimes the Leo pointing at the screen for stuff is enough for kids as well. Like, oh my God, that's cool. Even though a lot of the references aren't really for kids, you know what I mean? Like, it's more for the adults, like the Mad Max Fury Road thing and even Matrix, I'm not even sure if my kid knows what the Matrix is. But yeah, disappointing. It would have been cool to get Michael Jordan back.
And do what, though?
I don't know. Kind of interesting that they don't even... There's the little reference to, we've done this before. Like, Bugs Bunny makes a joke like, you want us to recruit us, like, to play a basketball game for, like, the fate of humanity? And he's like, sounds familiar. But it is interesting that they don't talk about, I remember when we played with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, as an actual experience. They don't reference it as if it's something that's happened. Like, we've played basketball before. It's weird.
Yeah.
Should have brought Bill Murray back.
Yeah, again, I don't know why this movie really exists.
There was a demand for it. Believe it or not, there was.
Was there?
People demanded for it for a long time.
Not enough to turn out for it.
There'd be weird Photoshop posters of, like, Michael Jordan coming back for Space Jam 2, and it was like Michael Jordan on one side, LeBron on the other side. People wanted it, man.
And do they kill each other or something?
They should.
I would watch that.
Yeah, Michael Jordan should have been the monster.
If this was a fight to the death between the two greatest basketballers of all time, I'd come turn out for that.
Yeah.
Shit. There's a lot of good ideas on this podcast tonight. I think we're doing some good work here tonight, guys.
Somebody's making a lot of money off this episode. That's for sure. Probably more than what Space Jam 2 made. So, Don Cheadle, what's your thoughts on Don Cheadle as Algae Rhythm?
Perfectly cromulent. I don't know.
Yeah, I was literally going to say perfectly competent. He is a professional doing a professional thing. He's acting.
He's carrying the acting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Should we rank them?
It's easily 1 over 2.
Yeah, but it's
Yep. Yeah.
The new is better than dog shit, I guess.
Lola Bunny in number 1 saves it over number 2.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, Smoke Show versus
nerfed hardcore for the second movie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good idea for a review.
No memorable songs in the second one.
So what?
Memorable songs in the second one. You can't have R. Kelly. I get that. You can't have R. Kelly in 2020.
You can't do that anymore.
He's a bit cancelled, but...
You could have done a different cover of I Believe I Could Fly.
Maybe
There's
he owns the rights to it.
There is a great cover of that by some band that I can't remember.
Send it to me.
I will. It's like almost like
I
a
quite
ska
like that
version.
song, and every time I listen to it, I'm like, damn, it's a shame that this guy's a rapist. You know?
Yes, it's not ideal.
No, but it's a banger of a song. So,
But Ghetto Superstar, the Batman theme song,
has the Wonder Woman theme,
Hedwig's theme from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
It's just got all the songs from the other
it's
things and
literally
references.
just like
it's got
every
Mad
reference
Max
they can do.
Fury Road soundtrack.
Terrible. All right, let's move on to cleanse our palates. We are going to do next fortnight. We're going to do the close in. No, what are we calling it?
It's Spielberg's First Contact trilogy.
Spielberg's First Contact trilogy. So we already did a First Contact trilogy that had a tenuous
Controversial opinions. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Conan said it was the worst movie of all time. He'd rather watch Space Jam.
They're about the same. They're about on par, honestly.
Yeah.
So yes, we're doing. With Disclosure Day coming out in the next fortnight, we are watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and Disclosure Day. So join us for that next fortnight. Will be interesting. I've watched a couple of those movies before, I guess.
I've never
I
seen
don't know. Most of my memories of Close Encounters of the Third Kind is Homer Simpson making a circus tent out of mashed potato. But
absolutely,
I'm looking forward to watching it. It used to scare me as a kid. I remember I was very scared of that movie.
But you aren't looking forward to Disclosure Day, are you?
Not particularly. I think I think the trailer doesn't do it any favors. I'll say that.
True.
But if Disclosure Day wants to advertise on our podcast, I will do it. I will absolutely say yes to that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do the clicky
Let's start
noise.
doing the click. Well, we'll have to review it in the clicky noises.
So look forward to that next week. This podcast is brought to you by The Taste of Iron, God Grotesque, and what's the new one coming out, Conan?
The Shape of Water.
No, Face of the Deep.
Oh,
Face of the Deep, the third in Conan's trilogy of books. So get them on Amazon. Check them out. They're a good read. Better
the third
than
one
Space
available
Jam.
yet?
No, I'm still doing the final edit, but it's coming. I've got the author's copy, so it's
Coming.
there.
So buy the first two to get ready. So you are ready, waiting, and
Yes,
willing.
pre-order this one. I don't know how pre-orders work. Just send me money and you'll get a book eventually.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks for joining us for the good, the bad, and the worst. We'll catch you next fortnight.
Let's go, Bulls.
Bye.